What's up, everybody? Sorry for the delay. I've been a little confused about how Facebook Live works. Apparently, you have to start streaming in OBS and then also start streaming. You have to click Go Live in your web browser on Facebook. Whereas with Twitch, as soon as you go Twitch or YouTube, you just go out of OBS and you're live. So we'll see. Maybe it's catching up to the end. Who knows? But now I can see the comments. And anyways, I've got these 3 reeds that are some degree wider than my normal setup. And all I've done is move the shape up. So I'm using a portion of the shaper that's further up the overall shape, and so the tip is wider, etc. So I'm just running this experiment, seeing how this works on my bell bassoon. You can see this one's narrower. That's the main test. All right, so let me start with this one. I have written on here, blow hard to focus. So this is the main thing I'm sort of running into, which is, well, there's probably an echo. I've got I'm having trouble getting to focus. You know, this wider reed is great. The pitch is lower. The low register works really well, but I can't quite get the sound to focus the way I want. So let me just test this reed out. First thing is not sealing. So you just spit in the back, and that seals it up. I got that from Jack Pena, if he's out there watching. Okay. I really have to support a lot and kind of pull the sound back to get it as open as I want it. It tends to want to flatten out my vowel. And that's already something I have a problem with. I tend to play with a spread vowel. So that's my only concern sort of with the sound. Let's just see how the pitch is doing. Pitch is close enough. Let me just play on it a little bit. kind of like, because again, I'm having to blow pretty hard. That note really wants to crack. So it's not really sharp or flat, it's just, it's just more resistant and unstable than I'm used to. So let's see. All right, so you can see it's quite wide. Sanded it down to get to the 15.5 millimeters. This is really about 16 millimeters, the tip. So it's still, this is even wider than Chris Millard told me he does usually. But yeah, I don't really get the sense I need to work on it. I get the sense I need to play on it. I would need to practice on it for 20 minutes. I would adjust. But maybe, again, this is the extreme case. So I've moved this way farther than even I'm comfortable with. And I'm just not going to be able to... it's not going to play in tune or play stable with the way I want to blow, I think. And maybe no one wants to blow this way. Because, I think... What am I trying to say? I think it's that the way you sound is mostly based on how you're going to blow, how hard you're going to blow, what kind of vowel you're going to use. And so I've got this is how I want to sound, and this is how I'm going to blow. And then you need to make a reed that responds and plays in tune based on those settings. And so for me, I think this reed, it's just going to make me blow a little harder or use a little more embouchure than I want to use. And that's going to change the sound. So I'm not the sound that I want to get. So I'm not going to play that way. And then I'm not going to play in tune. So it's not really going to work for me, I don't think. But I'll keep, let's see, maybe it'll get sharper. Maybe it'll get more stable as it dries out a little bit. I kind of over soaked it. So let me try the second reed. Check the comments here. Okay. I think I am actually live though. Oh yeah, 6 people watching. What's up, people watching? If you have a comment, I would love to see if I'm actually looking at the comment, like the place where the chat is going to be. Okay. So, this is my second reed. It's much more narrow. You can hear immediately it's much brighter. I made these 2 reeds the same way. They're probably similar cane. This one is simply further down the shape, so the tip is much narrower. It also doesn't seal. gotta. This reed also doesn't really center, it's very unstable. Just makes me blow harder on that F than I want. This reed doesn't feel great either. Let's just see. Alright, so this reed is much more volatile and unstable. You saw some notes would be 10 cents flat and then others would be 15 cents sharp. So that's not good, obviously. It needs some work, but on the one hand it feels too weak. And so it feels like, notes will be 15 cents sharp, but it's like because I'm kind of having to blow hard and make it work that it's playing sharp. It doesn't feel like a new reed in the sense that it feels way too strong, and I know it's sharp because it's too thick. This is kind of maybe sharp out of weakness. So whatever I do, I'm going to look to make sure none of the tapers curve more. I'm going to make the tapers sort of arch even more rather than bend even more. This weakness can actually make it play sharper. Sometimes that crow with your lips above the wire tells you something about the absolute pitch of the reed. What is that, F sharp? G? G sharp. Okay. So we've got some room. It's sharp. The crow above the first wire is high. So the flat notes, yeah, again, maybe that's just something structural. See, we've got a lot of room back here. The rails are relatively thick. Let's see. Okay. All right, so this, you can see this channel in here. It's kind of, again, it's very much, there's, you know, the channel is this arch. I'd rather the channel not be like that, not be collapsed. So I'm going to try to, this is the point where it's kind of collapsed. I'm going to try to make this point the high point rather than the low point. So just really quickly, okay, so right now, oh good, that was lucky. Right now I've got, whoops, that's not it. This is the channel. That's the collapse, and I need, let's see, actually, let me do it in this way. All right, and so this would be my number 2. Now we have this. So the first one collapses and the second one, right? So here's where I need to scrape. All right, and that's going to give me this. So this one will be, I think, more stable. And I find generally whenever I fix a taper from number 1 to number 2, it just makes the reed better in imperceptible ways. So that's what I'm trying to do. The channel is too thin is a much simpler, better way to say it. Okay. Comments. I don't see a comments. Okay. So, all right, let's go back here. All right, so I'm trying to make the channel thicker. To the side. It just has that feeling of being structurally weak, which is, it just doesn't center and focus the sound. You know, those tenor Fs that wanted to crack, they just aren't sitting up on their own. But by working on the edge out here, this is really going to make it much stronger structurally. Even though taking off cane, of course, you're materially weakening the reed. So I better make sure whatever scraping I do, +2 strength structurally to counteract the fact that I'm taking off cane, which is -1 strength materially. That makes sense. If I scrape in the middle of the back, that's going to make it weaker materially and structurally. So that wouldn't be any good. All right. So again, we went from number 1 to number 2. Tried to make the channel more inflated. The tip is better too. the tip, let me show you the tip. Okay, come on. So the tip was collapsing a lot, and you still see over here, the bottom right is collapsing, but it's much better. And before, you know, it was completely collapsing like this. Now it's a little more open, so. Okay. Let's see how it plays. That D was really sharp the first time. So it's way better. It focuses better. It's more consistent. And even though it's a little bit flatter, overall the variance between sharp notes and flat notes is much smaller. So that's what we're really going for. You know, so now I can sort of play in one spot and I don't get sharp notes and flat notes. All the notes are within a little range and it's more manageable. I don't think it's maybe going to be a great read, but it's better. And I think ultimately that's what you want to chase is you want to chase sound reed making principles, and you want to know how things are going to affect it and not. I mean, the best reed making in the world isn't going to make this bad piece of cane a good reed, but I can still learn from it. And so then if I have something important and I make 10 reeds and I get a good piece of cane, I have the right principles to end up with a good read. Let me check this. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, let me just see here. Comments? Anybody have any questions or comments? I tried to just post one, but who knows? Okay. So I'm going to play it a little more and test it. You can hear it's still really unstable. If I don't blow it perfectly, it doesn't stay stable. Kind of wants to sag. It's really sharp, right? In the middle of that scale, the F really just spreads to me. I don't know. I was better that time. So the reed was much better wired down, which is interesting. More stable, held the pitch, and so, you know, I'm gonna mark this thing okay, question mark. I still feel like I have to blow too hard to get the F where I want it, which makes me think the reed is just too hard. So it's either the back is too high and we have a really wedge scraped reed, or the wire is too open. Now, given the tip not being very open, I suspect it's the back. So I'm also going to just circle the back, put a little circle there, you know, so that it, you know, I'll remember. But yeah, it's okay, reed. Got my circle there. So we'll see what happens, you know, the next day. But I don't think it's going to be a great read. I just don't think it's great cane. I think it's okay cane. But yeah. Oh, hey, Ben. Thank you. Thanks for commenting. I'm just glad I can see. I know I'm in the right spot because it was a mess to set up a little bit. So, great. Well, if anyone else has any other comments or questions, I'm gonna sign off, I think. Let me get my phone, actually. I was maybe gonna play some Fortnite with the Oberlin studio, but let me see if anyone wants to get on. Oh, okay, Emmy was gonna get on. Okay, so I'll do, Emmy is going to be a junior at Oberlin. So I'm gonna get on Twitch to stream that. So my Twitch user is just DrewBSN, and if you like Fortnite, come check it out there. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Friday. All right.